My name is Lucas Barbiero, and I'm the creative director and owner of Season International, which is a clothing brand that pushes aspiration and connects people through design. I got my start by basically, I was working a serving job, and I was very unhappy with my way of life, even though I was making money, and I kind of just always had the idea of making a streetwear brand, even in high school. And one day I just kind of evaluated, how I can grow a brand, comparing it to how I can grow being a server. And that same day I quit my job and started a brand with no knowledge. So Season International was inspired by a Cousin Stiz song called Every Season, and I would basically play it all day when I was working a serving job. And I just felt connected to the idea of making every season yours, and that's how the catchphrase "Make the season yours" came to fruition. And basically from that I recreated the message of that song to apply to people's aspirations and apply to people's life. When you think about a season, it's like 3 to 4 months of your life, and in 3 to 4 months, surprisingly, you can do a lot if you devote your time into turning an idea into something established. So when I say make the season yours, like, I want it to connect to people's aspirations, and I also want to connect it to my own product. When I say the season, it can mean my products, but the season can also mean like whatever you want to do within that time frame. Things can get done. So Season International is a menswear street luxury brand, and it's very minimalistic, but also the designs are very purposeful, and they're, I would say, very not exclusive, but limited. And it's not like just like anybody. I would love everybody to wear my brand, but it's more geared towards that luxury streetwear feel. So my brand is 2 years old. Actually, I think from yesterday, it was the 2-year anniversary. So the journey is actually, I tell everybody this, it's the coolest thing I've ever done, and it's also the hardest thing I've ever done, because for it to succeed, I have to put all my effort into it. So the journey's been very frustrating and very rewarding. So at first, I didn't really know anything about creating clothes, marketing clothes, or really anything about every aspect of making a brand. And I made mad mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I think a mistake that I understood early on was to not be dependent on other people to get stuff done. So at first I was outsourcing my screen printing, I was outsourcing my fabrics, I was outsourcing basically all of production besides design and shipping, which I would ship myself. And people would mess up my orders before I'd even get them for myself. So screen printing companies would. So within that first year, I lost a lot of money, having extra inventory and, having messed up screen prints. So I learned how to be self-sufficient to maximize, my efficiency and my margins. And basically now everything is made in-house instead of outsourcing. And that has taught me how to screen print, how to embroider, how to design better, and just understand how to be more self-sufficient. And another struggle I took personally was combining my brand with a message, or having a purpose centered around my brand. Because at first I was only thinking about starting a streetwear brand, but you you really need a dialogue between your product and who you're targeting for something to be successful, because some people aren't just going to buy a product, they'd rather have some context to go with the product so it actually means something to them. I was at a trade show in New York. So a trade show is basically where vendors come in and they showcase their products to retailers. I didn't have a booth, but I was just there to see other independent brands, and I was wearing my brand, and somebody came up to me and they didn't know who I was, but they know who my brand was, and they were like, "Oh, you're with Season, like, oh, did they send you?" And they were just like basically making a big deal that somebody from Season was at the trade show. And that hit me like kind of weird, because I wasn't expecting people to know my brand outside of like where I'm from. And after that, like, I left New York feeling like, wow, like I'm really reaching people that I don't know, and it's not because they know who I am, it's because they know me for my work. And that really like encouraged me to keep going.